And we are streaming and the game has begun. Almost perfect timing. So, penultimate Mahjong night of 2017. I had not updated the table before we did this. I will do that before we get to the night next week, and I will keep... That's actually a good hand. And I will keep that up to date as each game result comes in. So, yeah, game on. Yeah, this is interesting. We'll have to see how this actually goes. But, yes, evening. I want to keep the 5 in case we can pair it, but this is a very rapid hand, especially if I were to draw the 5-8 quite early. Yeah, that's useful. Okay, so that pretty much sorts us out there. We'll be into a 5-2 wait a bit later. See how this goes. That's unfortunate. Would have preferred to be on bats as a pair, but hey. And of course, if I can draw the 4, that puts me into a Ipeco as well. So extra bonuses available. Unfortunately, it's not giving me anything right now. Dora North, though, passes. One was already played on the right, so it was reasonably safe. I would like to get a result as starting dealer here. Okay, we'll risk the red 5. Sorry, the 5 at this point. It passes. And since we saw another one, unfortunately, the way the ordering of that now becomes a mistake. That becomes a double mistake at that point, so we're just gonna have to keep cutting them because otherwise I'll end up into for return situations. If I had discarded the other way around, that would have been an ideal draw, and in fact this is still looking towards ideal at this point. Alright, let's cull that because we can call for quick Tanya with this hand at the moment. Yeah, we'll call, take the quick Tanyo victory if we can here. It's a nothing hand, but I feel that if I don't advance, I'm going to end up losing my dealer turn for no benefit at this point. Yellow Egan. Okay, Orski trying the same thing. There we go, that's fine. There are still 2 green dragons available, so there's a goal. White dragon has been played to death around the board at the moment, so that should be okay. I can call for 2 of the 5 to get into Tempai from this. Yeah, just like his easy points. Okay, let's work this out here. So that puts us into a 2-3-6. Better dealing. That did put me into Tempo over 2-3-6, and I'm perfectly happy to give up 1,000 points there. Actually, no, it'd been a 2. Yeah. I can take that. There wasn't anything super strong on the board, and obviously the attempt at the dealer repeat was the where I want to go for. That being said, this hand is kind of terrible. Well, you say that, but they still end up going home with everybody else. But part of that is that you don't know the game well enough, so... And unfortunately, we also have a few ultra-aggressive players who have actually learned enough of the game to actually be ultra-aggressive players. We've got 2 of them on this board right now, actually. Might as well play East. One's been played. I'm not expecting too much from this, so I will probably fold if it comes to it. Because at the moment, I'm still 5-6 tiles away. I'm kind of discarding Nagashi tiles, but that's not really my aim. Though I still have 5. And even here, 2 loose tiles there, only 1 definite tile there. So I'm still 3 away, even ideally. And the Mr. Draconis to my right is seemingly quite close to going. Right, Dragon's also live, which doesn't help things. Two safe tiles.
Each.
2 safe tiles against the reaching player, which is always nice, especially as he's dealer.
Dong.
And unfortunately, Rise decides to go and deal in. So there we go, dealer Hanneman, and that is probably pretty close to game over at this point. We'll see how it develops. It is on the East too. Also, hooray! In the queue. Yeah, you didn't want to do that. Dealer Mungan would have been bad, but had he have not played so aggressively and had gone round the table once, it would have at least required a Mungan rather than Hanneman. Still, we'll see what we can salvage. I have a potential something here. It's not the worst hand in the world. Green Dragon Sanchiku. That also probably helps. So, I've got to debate a couple of things here, because obviously I've got... I'm not going to call that. I've got slight concerns here that I am currently in 3rd, and I want to be in 2nd to gain some positive points here. So, let's see. I can definitely call the last Green Dragon. It's number association, and eventually it'll happen. It's just, you've got to get used to the numbers being those. I do have a beginner set of Mahjong tiles, which kind of helps as well, so... But one of the techniques in 10 was basically the guy knew every symbol in a lot of other languages that most people wouldn't know. So when he left scratches on tiles, they just left scratches to them because they didn't recognize that that was, say, the Arabic number for 7 or whatever. And that's how his cheats kind of worked. They just look like normal scuff marks, but he recognized them as a number because he put it on there.
Cheat.
Unless he's playing Mahjong with experts in dead languages, he got away with it.
Cheat.
Okay, dealer being aggressive. I mean, it's fair enough. In this instance, with a player on 7,000, actually the dealer aggression kind of works, but you can just shut out the game if JPC deals in again. Well, it's only a stupid call if you don't have a Yaku, and you've been playing well enough and long enough to not do aggressive plays when you don't have a Yaku. That is not what we wanted, but it does give Rise some points here. You wanted Tanyo and you accidentally incorporated the 1. I imagine. Alright, East is dodgy. We have one door here. I just need a winning hand, in all honesty. You won't have a finished hand with all 1s, because that's 4-4-4. You'll have 3 Khans and then pot luck. But it's Sancho Kodoko is the technical Yaku name for having 3 triplets of the same tile, number tile anyway. So it's worth 2 Han, so by itself, 2,000 points. Even if there's no other Yaku attached, usually it'll be worth more. So we have a possible Itsu on. And it's Itsu Reach discarding the Dora. Unfortunately, I've got to discard the Dora to make it work at this point, don't I? Gonna play it because it's a safe tile against the aggressive Doom player. So 4-6. It's either a cheap hand and he wants it, or it's going to be safe. I don't want to discard too many dots against him if I can avoid it. And hey, Scotty. Oh, that's unfortunate. Vedora is 1 bonus Han. It doesn't count as a winning hand by itself, but it's an add-on bonus if you have any more of them incorporated. And I'm not going to call that because I really want the Itsu here. So he's going to go. He doesn't want dot tiles then. So he might be on a Chanter hand. Yeah, he's on a Chanter Sanchku. So he doesn't need the 6. If he does, he's devalued his hand. So against free calls, Horsky's going on the aggressive plan. White Dragon safe against both. So we're still kind of hoping to get this 4-6 for the Itsu. There's 1-4. Red Dragon, 1 played quite early. This is a little dodgy, but 8 is a Suji. We'll go that way around with it.
Go.
Darn it! I should have thought about that. That was the worst card I could have played against Doom there. That was a silly play. Because of course he wants one of these tiles, so you know. Oh well. So now I'm 10,000 down and looking a little problematic here, but this is kind of a comeback hand. Actually, this hand could potentially be a monster if this pulls off. I'm just going to make sure I've got the dragons the right way around. Yeah, I do. Green, red, white. I might even have Sanchku as well. This still needs work. If that Dora Dragon comes down, I'm in huge... Yeah, basically it's the next tile on in sequence is the rule for it. Gonna get rid of my 1-2 here. Yeah, could you stop listening to me in chat there? Actually, it might not have been. He might have been answering the question, but oh well. Okay, well, I might be able to just pull off a natural Pinfu here. Well, Pinfu-like. Interesting. I'm not going to go for that. But I am waiting for somebody to drop that dragon.
Each.
Yeah, so I'm going to reach against that. Reach with a Yakuman that I can deal into on the table is always a fun one, but Riichi Patsusumo Freedora. There we go then. Strictly speaking, that was not the most sane move, but I had 2 reds in my hand. The chances of him finishing that with that to get the little dragons was remote. And this is kind of monstrous. ace doesn't help me here. So if I draw a 7... 5, 6, 7 Sanchku is what I'm looking at here, I think. But I have 4 Dora in this hand. This is interesting. I'm going to keep that because the double run's slightly more important. I don't have a pair is the only issue with the hand right now. Again, I'm questioning Egan's taste in anime, but well. Alright, so we're 1 away now. Dora for a Pinfu hand with... won't be Tanyo, but Pinfu, free Dora, all red is quite interesting. Nice, okay. So we'll cut the 2 here. 6 is still our best draw. We can then go into a 5-8. Okay. Sorry, I got to work this out here. So I can go reach on the 6 only to pursue this. Not going to do it. I don't really want to play the 7 against that, but, you know. Draw the 6. Does that change things? Not really.
Each.
Now we go for it. But so you reach on the 6. I don't have any safe tiles left, so... I shouldn't have reached here. I didn't need to, but I don't know how I'd change the hand up anyway from this point. 2 would have been better, actually. That would have given me the 5-6 escape route. Suji. So now does the 6 want to get played? It's the door indicator, so it's a lower than normal chance here, but this is an absolute game winner. Stream has not been going on very long. About 20 minutes, I think. This is game 1 in terms of how many I've played. I think there's a secondary game about to begin or has begun. So yeah, we're in South 1 of the first... what was he waiting on? Yeah, he was on a better weight, 4-7. Which is fine. He doesn't get enough points to completely knock JPC out as a Hanneman lead. And it was fine. I got greedy. I should have waited on that one. Well, if you reach, you can't pick your target. That's the thing. If you wanted to knock him out, you shouldn't have reached. I have many times, for critical reasons, taken points off Viking when I could have taken the Sumo, sometimes for more points in terms of things. But the important thing was I needed to make him lose points. It's a standard trick if you are in the lead and you need to end the game quickly. You start targeting the player in the last. You just do not take wins off anybody else unless you Sumo. Target him, end the game, win, you're defined. Because what you don't want is to, you know... keep the game going for just the game's going sake. Because sooner or later, somebody will draw a Hanneman. This is not my Hanneman hand, in all honesty, but if I can get a 5, I've got a chance at Ipeco and stuff. He's called the ones. He's played a lot of dot tiles, so I imagine he's got a bonus triplet based on what's out. Probably White Dragon. No, actually, maybe not. I'm not sure what he's got then. Absolutely cliched, but it is exactly the same as every other sports anime. Just keeping the East back because it's still one of his potential bonus tiles. So. JPC down to 1,000 points. Down to 400 points, actually. He needs this, otherwise I think it's game over. Wouldn't mind Horsky dealing into him, of course, but... What it does also mean, it complicates things on my end, because I, of course, want to try and take the lead from this. And the only best chance of doing that is if JPC remains in the game. So I may have to do some stuff here. Folding with a call is never a good idea. You just limited yourself. I can go for a Tanyo, but I really don't want to... The worst thing for me to do right now is just knock JPC out. I really need him to be alive, so... Although... Yeah, okay. So here I can go for a targeted 2-5.
Wrong.
He must have enough points to overtake me or he wouldn't have taken... You didn't have enough points, sir. Why take... You should have passed. You should have passed it. That's why I wasn't reaching. Oh dear, it's fine. You need an extra 1,000. Ah well. I get a few points, but Horsky moves up the order a little bit, and I'll just queue up for another game. I imagine another one did start in my absence. Yeah, we have Horsky, Egg, and Cheers, and Scotty, so I will... Not overly. Actually... Well, anyway, I'm just going to go and do this. Copy thing in. Well, he did need a win. Okay, so we have 3 and 4, but we obviously are down 1 player because I don't think the Vikings turned up this week. So we'll have to wait and just examine the other game for a little bit. Tutorial video? No, however. However, the guide I use is this one. There probably are video tutorials around, but this is just the general documentation guide I do. Yeah, you're not being helpful, so I'm actually going to put time out for the time being. In short, I don't even know what half the buttons at the bottom do. The general guide to get around is lobbies and games forum. It'll tell you roughly what each of the symbol sets mean. The information's there, though it's not clear. There probably are ways to do tutorial videos, and I should, in theory, do one. I kind of owe the YouTube community quite a few of them by this stage. Oh, dear. That's, yeah. I need to do that, really. 50, so it's about now it should be starting. Oh, well, okay. Apparently we have another game in progress, so I'm going to have to mute this and get involved in my other game. So, game 2, we have JPB, Doom, JPC, and Mark Fu. Welcome back, JPB. It's been a while since you got in the game. How are you doing? Your Rise's nemesis has turned up, apparently. Yeah, it'll do that if... On my server, it used to be the case that people without IDs can do it. It does also give you an error if you have multiple windows open. I know that much from experience. It only lets you have one 10-ho window open, which is a pain because this server is on a particular room, so I can't have a normal game going on in the background. There are other reasons why it might be showing up an error, and unfortunately, it's not always. It sometimes comes up in a picture box, so I can't copy the text into Google Translate for a rough translation. Thankfully, a few people in the chat do know enough Japanese to help out with that sometimes, at least in terms of screenshots. Anyway, I should concentrate on this hand for the moment, which is not bad. I'm starting north, so I'm last dealer. And it's to say, when I get in the eons it's going to take me to do this, because I don't really have the time. Although, in fairness, that's a lie. I could get around to it this weekend if I really wanted to spin things out, but I want to do it properly. I could do an explanation on how Tenho works as far as I can explain how to actually play within it. I still don't know what these buttons mean. I know what the settings could be. One of them is auto pass, auto yield effectively.
Yeet.
One of them is effectively, you know, there's sort of a pause which gives you the option of doing that. That's what it means by that one. Anyway, this is a dodgy situation for me to be in right now, so I'm going to toss the 1. I have 2 safeties to choose against that, so... Yeah, I'm never that lucky.
Each.
Okay, so we have 2 reaches on the table, JPB and Doom. And it's not good, because I've got actually a reasonably good hand here. And it's also 2s here. Okay, all the Easts are out, so that's okay. Seven. Yeah, I think at this point we're just getting that.
Sumo.
Alright, so he was waiting on an edge 7, wait for the Sanchiku, and pulls it off. So that's his non-dealer Hanneman to start. So Draconis takes a solid lead. Meanwhile, south. What's that? So we've got a potential Sanchiku on ourselves here. 7, 8, 9. So what am I looking at? I really, at this point, I'm reliant on getting this 9. That basically solidifies the hand, gives me the 7, 8, 9 in both suits, and then I can start thinking about other things. Another 9 to be helpful. Oh, god darn it. This is... Maybe I should just give up and go for the Nageshi here. Actually, if I'd have kept all the 1s, I'd have been in Junshan Tenpai by now, I think. Yeah, 1, 1, 1. Yeah. I mean, it would have been a terrible play, but technically speaking, I could have done it. Also, I should really got maybe my west with 2 of them gone. JPB has a 1-2 free call. So, possible Chinitsu, Honitsu. Okay, that is extremely good here. So, we're now 1 away from... If I get a 6 or a 9... 9 ideally... Oh, that's made my Sanchiku unlikely. Okay. So, what can we do with this? Unfortunately, that was the last 9 as well. Unfortunately, I've had a free called. It looks as if I'm still on for Nageshi, but I've had a free called, so...
Riichi.
Hell, wait. It is a hell weight, actually. Oh, no, it wasn't. There's that 6 there. Ugh. Alright, this is what I meant by missing your winning conditions here, but yeah. It was technically a 3-sided weight. I had 5, 9, 6, but I was looking at just the 5, 9. So I blindsided myself with that one. Still, that puts me within 10,000 of Mr. Doom. And this is a reasonable Honitsu-ish type hand. I'm just going to play south after south because somebody can call them. Honitsu with Dora. We'll look at this as well, so... Nice. So 2 bonus. Well, actually, North isn't bonus, but 2 wind tiles, Dora, and a reasonable shape for Chinitsu. Or Honitsu, at least. Half flush to become dealer. It'll also be reasonable enough hand to actually attack Doom with. Yeah, this is definitely looking this way now. So we're going to call anything that comes up now. Green dragons are now out. Draw a pair of 5s would be ideal, because then I get into Toy Toy Honitsu, and that makes the hand rather huge. Gonna forgo that one. See, the good thing is, monthly tiles aren't actually cheap at the moment. They're being played quite considerably, which... But GPC is just playing them for fun by the look of it. The problem I'm having is that that second call isn't happening, and I kind of need it. Because now JPB's advanced his hand. He's probably in for a Chinitsu as well. He could definitely have a white dragon or something. Yeah, there we go. So I now know what he's after. And that's going to make any future discards really awkward for me. Now I have the Toy Toy escape plan. Fortunately, the 7s are gone, so it's only going to have to be my pair if that goes that way.
Home.
7s are safe. I'm going to keep playing them as long as they are.
Riichi.
Well, that complicates matters. Because 7 might not be safe against Rise. Green Dragon is, though. Ten by 6. Manzitars are cheap. 6-man comes up. I am in business. Red 5 is dodgy, but oh no, it's not. He's played 5, of course. Yeah, 4 we know is safe. Self-drawn. Alright, that's not as bad as it might have been. But that's a deal hand that puts JPC up into second.
Home.
And dealer goes aggressive dragon calling. Which again, not a bad thing for a dealer to do. He needs to try and push his luck a bit if he can. And I'm just hoping for a bit more luck. I do have the advantage of being last dealer, provided the JPB doesn't start losing a lot of points in rapid succession. But 4 draws in, I haven't really gotten anything helpful. Alright, well, that's south here. It is my wind, but whatever, it's being hoarded, or I'm just not getting lucky enough to get them at the moment. It's also safer than Red Dragon, which is my other discard option at this point. Alright, let's throw Double East out there. That's helpful enough. So we're only 2 away from Tanyo, which isn't a bad place for us to be in. There's the other south that I was waiting on. Draw the 7 would be my most ideal draw. Gives me my double run set. Got my pair sorted there. Plenty of tiles I can draw that give me a bit of help. That's not necessarily one of them, especially with the 1 discarded earlier, but we'll see. Maybe I can make an odd lunge for a... yeah, maybe I can make an odd lunge for something like Sanchku here. Draw the 5, wouldn't be too far away from it. Fortunately, I'm running out of time at this stage, and obviously people's hands are now advancing, so... ideal world, draw the 7, but I've got other options if things come up. See, that's quite helpful. So now I can call any of these and be in Tenpai for Tanya.
Riichi.
Did have a quick check, but I don't see any 2-4s out there. So I've got 4 winning tiles in theory still left on the board. And technically there's a bit of Suji trappage going on. Yeah, if I draw the 5 though, it is. No, I guess it isn't because it's not technically on that vein. I think it's worth a shot to try and become dealer. Okay, 2 players in Tenpai. And that's 1,500 points to 2 players. It closes the gap up a little bit. In theory, I didn't have a lot, but it was enough. Okay, another possible Itsu hand. Not as nice as my last one because it doesn't have Dora in the middle, but we'll see what we can do. That being said, the rest of the hand is actually coming together really quickly, so I might actually be somewhat on for this one. Yeah, 1 away. So if I draw the 4 or the 5, this is reach possible Itsu. I'd like to draw the 5 ideally because that gives me the 2-sided weight on that, but even if not,
Riichi.
reach 3-6. So this is early aggressive reach here because I am going to be dealer next. I need to knock him off. He's actually my next closest rival for 2nd place at this point. So we don't want him to get any more points and dealer repeats if we can avoid it. It's also a 2-sided way. All the tiles are still out, so
Riichi.
Pursuit reach. Is it better than my 2-sided weight? No, it isn't. But only because I sumoed there. So reach Sumo Pinfu. And I hit 2 Uridura, so that is non-dealer Mungan. And that puts me in the lead, I think. So in the lead, it's now my dealer turn. Let's see if I can reap some benefits out of this. Got some Dora. Dora counts as benefits. I need that. If I can draw another East, this hand is kind of perfect.
Well,
somebody's trying to be hyper-aggressive over there. Got the dragon just trying to go for a quick win, I guess. It's the same 5-7 weight on both sides here. Let's toss the East. It's still early, so we're not likely to be using it. We might be using the West, but they are a safe discard as well to Rise, which has to be considered. Yeah, let's toss the East now. We have another pair established in the 4s. Or another pair possible here. Got a pair of 5s as well. There we go. So that gives us a bit of an opening there. Pair of 9s doesn't help me too much. Let's actually get rid of those. He might be Red Dragon only, in all honesty. He's played a lot of Sozi tiles. Oh, maybe he's on a Honitsu. It looks unlikely because of his 7 and 3, and the other tiles you kind of want to keep if you're going Honitsu. He might be going Toy Toy. And really, I should be playing a little safer than I am here, but I see a 9. We'll play a 9. We see an 8, we'll play an 8. So we're playing defense against Toy Toy here, which is basically if you see a tile, if you see multiple tiles of the same type, then they're safe. I'm not going to take that. I am going to play the 7, though. This is a gamble that I should not have taken, but I have done anyway. So do I want this? I mean, the problem is I can't really get rid of the 5. The 5 is far too risky, but the 4 I can.
Wrong.
So, shenanigans or... Well played either way. Nah, it was a trash hand. It was 1300. I can take. I still lead. But no, that is the advantage of not reaching, because that gives you the ability to target people. And if his hand was actually worth a bit more, that might actually have been really... It really isn't, actually, based on this hand, in all honesty. Which is kind of amazing right now. So if we draw the 7, we're in a... I think I'm in a massive multi-sided weight here. 5, 3, 8...
Jeez.
But of course, that is if I draw the 7. So I still need my pair, and it obviously the 7 kind of takes it there, but this is not bad at all. Wrong 7.
Eat.
Alright, JPB on the reach plan again. Now, in terms of my game plan at this point, if I get a chance, I really want to take out JPB because he is in a position where he might be taken out. Thankfully, I got a safe tile for this turn, but dealer reach, he's always got to be kind of respected. Sozu are dodgy against him because he's only played the 1. So this is the hell I want to get rid of. Okay, that passes. So I'm now in a 2-sided weight, but I can't win with it at the moment. Well, I can sumo it, but I can't actually go with it, and I'm not likely to unless I have absolutely no choice in the matter. 5 is still my best draw because I can just drop the 6 and go for it. I could drop a 7 and go for it, which might even be better because it's a safe tile as well. There are still 4 winners that I can just randomly draw. 1 less now that Rise has played it. Now, this may seem like a silly idea for not reaching here, but I really don't want to deal into JPB if I can avoid it. I need him low so I can take the win. Gotta think on this one a little bit. Yeah, 4 was played after the reach. So Rise has played 2 of my winners now, so this is now almost become a case of we want to change the hand. Problem is now if I change the hand, I think I'm in for a 10 from there. We'll reach if we get something that I feel is risky, I think. Well, I'd rather stay in I'd rather stay in Silent Tempai.
Gee.
It's a door indicator, but he might be. I think he's on a Sozu hand. Maybe we'll do the trick of trying to go for the Haite Ipatsu. I'm in the lead though, so I don't need to go for this, especially. Alright, that'll do. So that pretty much eliminates JPC as a rival. JPB is now on around 20,000 points. I prefer Dune to have dealt in, but hey. But we skirted that one a little bit. Maybe I should have gone for it. I would have had a win off of JPB, but it would have only been for about 2,000 points, and obviously wasn't really worth the risk. Alright, South 1, let's get rid of South to start with. Good draw as well. Three's not bad. Red and green dragons are both safe, so we'll use our next 2 discards to do that, and then we'll see where we stand. But 3 pairs, good quick Tanyo hand. Looks like the order of a day here. Yeah, I have a game open, but if you want to post the scores anyway, I don't mind. It just means I've got it in 2 places for checking later. Yeah, I had it open, but pretty much because your game started about the time this one did, in terms of my screen. I know there's a 5-minute delay or whatever, but I think it might actually still be stuck in game 1, so it might even be quicker for you to just post the scores. And this is looking good. I genuinely don't know what to discard here. Get rid of the 2s. Ah, that'll do. I mean, in fairness, if you're on the main menu, you should have a game score for the one you've been on. Just copy paste that line, that'll be fine. There we go. So Olski's on a bit of a roll tonight. Taking cheap points off Hagen again. Okay, that's great. So what do we want to do here? We'll go with that way round because we've got the 5-8 available there. 1 from it. If I get the 1-4 or a 2, then I can technically reach and go for it. In fact, 2 would even be an okay draw here. Thinking about it, if I was being a bit greedy for points, I could have had a Sananko from there.
Each.
So 6, 9, 6. Irregular 3-sided weight. There are no lines left. There is 1 6 left. So it's a 606 dot weight, which is interesting. I've still got the 3 dot Khan available. Though as dealer, I'm not sure how much I want to do that. Got a bit of a CG trap on.
Each. Dong.
Thank you. It's a really cheap hand, but I always like calling people when they go reach. Reach. No. Okay. This is not brilliant. I mean, in fairness, I don't mind small wins because they move the game on. That gives me a little bit more of a buffer to Draconis over there. But I would have preferred a few more points, if I'm honest. Oh well. Adora 3 would have given me Mongan. As I say, Mahjong is very situational. Very situational. And sometimes it is worth the... If you're going to have to gamble, sometimes you want to gamble and at least get the rewards back from it. Especially if I don't have a safe tile. And that was the situation I was in. There was no real safe tile I had. So even though I was trying to play a bit safe with that, given that I was in Tempai and at that critical point, might as well have a go. Also, with that, might as well have a go for the Patsu Haite, which is a really silly combination of Yakumans, and I've pulled it off exactly twice. Also, everybody hates you when you pull off an Ipatsu Haite. This is the thing. If you are going to take a risk, there is no point in reaching and going for a silly, risky plan for 1,000 points. There is almost never a situation where that is good for you. The exception is if you're massively in the lead, in which case, arguably, there isn't a reason either. Or if you know the opponent's on a massive game-winning hand, i.e. he's got a Sun Baiman showing, or something like that, then you need to get something done quick to prevent that from preventing you from winning the game later. But again, Mahjong is situational. And generally speaking, you risk, you reward. And in the case of that second scenario, your reward is not having a Yakuman on the table that prevents you from being able to win in the rest of the game.
Riichi.
I'm just going to toss a safe tile here.
Riichi.
That's fair enough. In that case, that's sort of an that's sort of Mungan territory, so you want to be doing that. However, am going to play safe tile City for the moment. Yeah, because Dora free is enough. That means you've got a Mungan hand, basically, with a reach. So in that situation, yes, reaching is justified. And it's always about that, really. You need to... That's a justifiable risk in reaching. Provided, of course, you are not playing a tile which will prevent you from winning the game. And sometimes that situation occurs. I'm going to have to continue playing safe here, I think. The last 9's also a little dodgy here, but I don't think anybody should be waiting on that unless they're being silly. I'm trying to find the easts at this point, but actually there's a couple of easts still available. Neither of them should be bonus tiles, though. Well, things to consider. 2 safe, 2 is safe. So at this point, I'm in the lead. There's 2,000 points going on the board at this stage. Dealer turn is likely to move on from this, but... Do I think the 4 can pass? 4's risky, I'm not sure what I'm getting out of it. Well, I'm 1 away from now the... just stealing the game, I guess. Yeah, that was not a sensible move, actually. Because I mean, in fairness, that was a safe tile as well. But okay, so the dealership moves round. I didn't lose any points to the person in second comparatively. It's still 6,400. And now I need 2 quick games to win. The only problem, of course, is that there's now an extra 2,300 points on the table for this game. So we'd rather not have Doom win something cheap and just close the gap immediately with a 2-hand hand. That being said, we have 1 Dora, 2 potential bonus tiles in our hand as well, so... Sometimes that happens. I mean, you can try and fold around a safe hand and you just keep getting... You keep getting things. It's looking unlikely unless I just drop 5,200. I mean, it's not impossible in this situation, but it's not looking likely with 1 player low on points. I'm going to get rid of Red Dragon here because that's technically a double bonus tile for me. If I was less than... Because obviously if you consider a Mungan Sumo, which is what the most likely way to do this would be, I'd need to lose another 1,000 points before that happens. So if I was on 33.6, then... Hey, Debbie. then among and sumo would likely be the instance of the west wind. Evening, afternoon, one of the two. Well, it is. Okay, this is looking very... In fact, we got 7 pairs nearly on, actually, by complete accident, because that's not what I've been going for all game. So, 3, 3, 5. 7 pairs. 3 has been played once. The only reason I'm not going to go for 7 pairs directly is that I do also have other considerations for the hand, so... All that can happen. Alright, so... Silent 7 pairs, 2 Dora, 5 dot. We want to move that onto something better. That 5 dot should not come out of this, if anybody's playing sensibly. Oh, for God's sake, I'd have had it! Ugh! There's always a thing. You play the maths on a 7 pairs, single weight, and then that happens to you. Ah, well. We already have Dora, so it's literally the case I'm just going for the 1-9.
Riichi.
I think from that, we're now stuck on the 5 dot plan. Because I can't really... The 5 dot is not a safe tile against Rise here. And now the 5 dot has much more chance of coming out. Yeah, I cannot be waiting on that 2 dot. Also, might squeeze the 5 out just on Suji waiting here. 2 is a much better tile to be waiting on. But it would be for a 10.
Dong.
Yeah. That is unfortunate, but that's the way it went. So that actually is going to put me into a real problematic position now. Yeah.
Home.
And in that situation, that would probably be the reasonable opportunity to reach at that stage, because honestly, that would be the greatest risk for great reward. Anyway. The game is far from over, though, because I am last dealer, and that is a nice thing to have when you're in this position. The tiles are being very nice to me right now. Red Dragon. Arguably I could have folded and obviously should have done, but yeah. Okay, Dora. So if we can get this 3 dot, we're actually there on a 3-sided weight. Doom's on a good call. Wrong 3.
Dong.
Well, okay then. Oh, so much for my great hand. Alright. Here we're going to have to play aggressive.
Home.
Should we see in the lead? Yeah, he is. Okay, that's perfectly justifiable then in his case. In fairness, it was a good hand. I would have liked to have gone through this, but yeah. Thought you were playing my game. Not sure what you're meaning by that, but hey. Pause my pair. Unfortunately, I can't get rid of my pair just yet. And Tempai for 3 gets played. Tempai for 6 gets played as well, though it's a bad weight. Yeah. We're going to go with this plan instead because I've got slightly more stuff I can work for the 5 here. There's also Dora. Just hope I don't draw a 6 as an attachment because that makes me for a 10. But I have to be quick as well. I cannot afford to be delayed here. Okay. Let's go with that. Slightly more open from this one. So I can call any of those, discard Dora being Tempai. There we go. That's nice. 7 was the riskiest tile left, and the least likely one to be played from everybody, so... And that gives me options as well. Alright, I'm feeling good about this now. So I think 1-4 left. Tempai. I've given up a Dora, but I still have double Dora east, which is enough. I don't need any more. Drawing a 5 gets me into a 3-sided weight. And I'm definitely tempted to snipe him at the moment. Not that I actually would deliberately pass the turn at this stage, but there we go. Thank you. Thank you. Be sure to give me more points again. And I have a pair of reds as well. So this is exactly what you want when you're trying to chase a game. You just want quick Yaku, go in for it. West round won't happen for as long as I'm winning. And I need to hit Doom down at least 20,000, 2,700 points before that goes. So the rest of the hand's awkward, but it's not impossible. I wish I'd kept that rather than the 1-3 now, but hey. Alright, Yaku established. Alright, the jam is flowing right now. This is only for a red dragon only hand, but the jam is starting to throw here. Okay, 7 man for glory then. Doom is not going to play the 7 man at this point, I'll be honest. And the only way that West round is going to happen is if JPV wins. And you need to win with more than a Mung and Sumo right now. Oh, I'm tempted to change up here. Nope, going to hold off. The reason I was tempted to change up, of course, is I have slightly more winners going this way round, but... But my hand looks as if it's gone Honitsu this way, so I'd rather try and keep it that way if I can. Yeah, now I'm regretting the decision because if I'd have waited and gone the other way, I'd have been better off. Now there was a possibility a 7 was coming out of that. If he was on a 4-6-7. So I'm slightly better off with this discard. Eight and 3. 1 free remaining. 2 8s remaining. Watch for 7 get played now. Alright, 3 more discards around. Oh, I'd be for a 10 with that. And I got this. That was the 7 I needed. Mind you, I would have got that playing on, so Two dot doesn't help me. Okay, one more round. Abortive draw I'll take because I'm getting points from it, but
Dong.
GG. And GG. Yeah, can't do much about that. The only other escape plan I had was, I suppose I could have cost the 8, but there was no guarantee that was going to be safe there anyway. Oh well, that puts me last, and that's going to put me into a bit of bother. That's going to put me in a lot of bother, actually. But oh well. I think I'll play one more, and then I'm going to call it a night at that stage. So, Scotty, JPC, Doom, and myself. Hey, late door discards when you're in last place. Yeah, he probably is. Alright, what are we looking at here? We got Red Dragon. It's not particularly good, this, at the moment. And that's helpful. Gives me the possibility of making double run, but I've got so many closed weights in this. Alright, we'll throw West at this stage. One's already gone, so there's slightly less chance I can do with it. Pair of 6s is useful. Gives our pair security, so I think it's 2, 4, 6. Let's get rid of the 1, 3 at this point. Get rid of our last closed weight. Keep us on the Nageshi front line, which is always the easiest one. That is just unfortunate. So what that was getting rid of the closed weight, immediately drawing the middle tile. Still, we are gonna force the discard of the other two. There's not much point in keeping it at this point because otherwise it will end up with us in a for a 10 weight later down the line. We have nothing else close to it, so we shall use the discard. That actually is slightly more useful. That can be helpful to us. If we get the 4, I suppose that gives us a bother, but we can play around that. I can even call this and start pushing for a...
Chi.
This is a little aggressive, and I don't normally condone this, but we're going to go with it.
Chi.
This is extremely aggressive, actually. This is not a good move. And if I was going to do that, I should have gone for something else. I should have looked towards the Sanchiku, but I have 2 red Dora. Tanyo, 2 red. Let's see how this goes. Two sevens have been played up top, which is a little concerning, but that obviously means there are nobody really after them. Again, high risk, high reward. You kind of have to go with that if you can. All right, so now we're close. 6-3, 4-7. Tanyo, Dora. All right, Tenpai, 5-8. It's 5-8 and triple Dora. So this is Mungan, actually. For all the scrappiness of this hand, it is now Mungan.
Riichi.
Oh, please drop the 8 here. Oh. Wrong 8. Eight is a safe tile against him. As I say, there weren't that many of them left, but... Alright, immediately get rid of the yeast here. So this is looking quite a good one for pin 2, whatever. Did seem late. I immediately go double white dragon.
Home. 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 Riichi.
All right. Let's stop with the messing around right now. You two have huge calls here.
Home.
You're showing Chinitsu Toy Toy.
Dong.
2-dot had to be the worst thing. As it turns out, he was absolutely right. But, you know, in this case, we're going to get rid of a 4 rather than a 9. Unconventional, I know, but there's a possibility of a Sanchiku here, so we'll try and lean towards that if we can. Alright. Risky Dragon now. So if I drop a 6, I'm in a Pinfu hand.
Riichi.
Yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I mean, this is apparently working right now. So 7-4. Pinfu. All the 5's pretty much out, so... It's early, I'm dealer. You reach. Also, without the reach, this is pin 2 only, so... But it's a two-sided weight. The hand's not going to get any better than this.
Wrong.
And Scotty discarded the 7. So Freehan is dealer. And let's keep going. Well, this is actually okay. I think we'll toss south at the moment. So we have north, which is door indicator at this point. Also, this is a horrible round for getting in east right now. So yeah, Scotty gets rid of that straight away, and I cannot blame him the slightest. And I'm also extremely happy that it didn't actually happen like that. Hello, Viking! How are we doing? You'll be happy to know I'm down on points tonight. At least comparatively. This game's looking okay at the moment, but yeah, I am down about 27 points, I think, from my 2 games. A third and a last. Oh, sorry, a second and a last, sorry. And Horsky might be pulling up a late challenge because he's won both of his tonight, trying to steal points off Egan. So here I'm kind of thinking possibly ending the game. This is possibly pushing it a little hard, but I have a buffer. I have 2 safe tiles. He is the top player by score. He's also the reigning champion of that trophy by 1 point. He beat me last year. He's going to beat me by quite a few more this year, I think. But he is the kingpin at this of Shadow Shong at the moment. That's good. Okay, we're now 1 from Honitsu Tenpai. Honitsu Tenpai as dealer with Khan 4! You are going to regret that, Mr. Rise. You are going to regret that. If a North 3 or 5 gets played right this moment. Oh, I wish I could call that. He plays... You are going to regret this, sir. If you play a North or a 5... Oh, darn you. Not a good play. Well, I'd say it's not a good play. He did eventually win, but I would have said that was a dodgy play at best, especially as he didn't need it. Still. Nah, that's fair. I mean, it's fine. I'm just saying that it wasn't necessarily the best of plans. Anyway, East 4. I'll tell you what. The meter of jam meter is going off right now. Green dragon down. So really, this is the area we want to get rid of next. Tiles are reasonably cheap at the moment. That's a good draw. Means I've got a pair if I need it. What's got a potential there?
Hung.
Sanchiku. Yeah. So Sanchiku is free color straight or same run in free scholars, depending on which interpretation of which rule set you're looking at the time.
Riichi. Chi.
So we have a safe tile here. We got the 8 dot, which we'll play, especially with that draw. Okay.
Home.
So 2-5 gets me into the awesomeness. Well, I don't know what Rise is doing because he's had 2 Khans in the last 2 games. Neither of them have been needed. Both of them have helped me. So we'll see if this pulls off.
Riichi.
It was dodgy, but it passed. 2-5 then for glory. So somebody is going to have a disaster in a couple of moments. And it's going to be Rise. Oh, that was not as punishing as it should have been, but I still got the extra door out of it. Took points off the second player. Absolutely no objection with that. It is true, but I wanted to punish him for it. And to be fair, that may have been a bit greedy, but hey. I wanted to punish him for that move. Even that was his second card in a row, and he wasn't punished for the first one. Had to try and punish him for the second. Also, this hand. Well, we'll just see how this goes. So we're in the strange point of 7 pairs right now, where we are in the worst possible situation of drawing anything useful. And at the same time, see, if I'd have had the 9 as well, I'd have gone for Sanchiku Doko there, but as it happens, we're just trying to play the numbers, and I really shouldn't be keeping that. 7 dot is unlikely, so we'll stay silent until we can get something better. We want to be on it's a terminal tile. 6 is strictly better, I think, especially as it's Sujit. If we draw free so, we probably reach and go for the Hanuman here, but I'm in the lead. I don't need the point situation. Here we go. One man is definitely likely here. One's been played, sure, but it's also a tile that is going to be considered safe against my board. The question is, when do I want to push the button? Probably now, actually.
Riichi.
Sumo Urdura for Hanuman. And that is game at that point, almost certainly. So the Riichi is really here just for the possibility of killing off the game. If it turns out it's just Riichi Sumo 7 pairs, then that's 9,800. And as already mentioned, there's still 2 ones out there, and it's a reasonably safe-ish tile against my board. One's already been played. And no. No, sir. No reaching for you. Only 3,200, but... Again, points off the guy in second. Oh, wow. Yeah, we'll go with that. The jam flows. I mean, it might not actually be all that valuable by the end of the day, but it'd also be a little awkward to get this into a Honitsu situation and bump the value up, but I feel we're okay with this. What it does mean is I can call anything here to help out the hand a bit, and the jam flows, but not very well right now. Yeah, we call that. I even have a pair in the White Dragons, oddly, so... So we're just trying to push the game on a bit here. We got multiple tiles I can call. I don't want to call the White Dragons in an odd sort of twist on this unless I can get a pair of something else. Okay, now I can call a pair of the White Dragons. So we're looking like being on a 2-5 weight in the end. Yeah, it doesn't really change anything, so. And the extra pair doesn't really help us. We're actually in a better weight from here, because I'm just go White Dragon to Tenpai, 6 dot for Tenpai. And we have no interest in Carning because we are so far in the lead that is pretty much the only way we can be caught up. Provided we don't deal in, of course, with 3 hands to go. Somebody has a pair of White Dragons, I know that much. The question from here becomes, will I get the 2-5 to just finish things off? Okay.
Dong.
Double Dragon. So there's quite a few wins on the bounce now, I think. So, dealer repeats. Nobody's actually anywhere near close to being busted out at this point, which is a little depressing for this kind of run, but hey. Good point haul. Reasonable starting hand. Got Dora. And still coming together. The jam is still flowing. One dot not helpful. I mean, we got Tanyo effectively as our little Yaku plan here, but given that we don't really have the ability to bust anybody else out, we prefer a deal in between players. We'll keep taking the wins as long as they come up, but the jam is just getting there. Not on Tenho as far as I'm aware. I think we tested this with Vanna once. You got up to 8 wins on the bounce. I don't know if they're all dealer wins or just repeats, but I'm fairly sure she got close to it. So 1 from Pinfu, Tanyo, Dora. But I don't think it's a thing. I don't even think there's an option for it in the extra thing menu. I might be wrong, but I mean, even as a club rule, it's not played that much. It's not played that often, even at local club level. Tetsuya kind of popularized it a little bit, but I don't think we want that actually.
Well,
that's a shame because he wanted it. So I can call the 2-5 for Tenpai at least. The question is, do I want to against that board? Probably, because I'm not going to be getting rid of Manzu. That discard had kind of the feel of a trying not to deal in to that vibe. So imagine Doom is playing it safe. I'm not really going to aggressively attack this if I can avoid it. I'm probably going to be Silent Tenpai even if I get this. But for the moment, one on the board, so that's safety against the Toy Toy. Yeah, we're not calling that. We've got a safe discard against him now, so... Actually, we have plenty of safe discards against him, but, you know. We have a recently definite safe discard. Okay, Tenpai. 4-7. And technically they're all open, so...
Dong.
Alright, number 5800, and we move on. Dealer repeat. If head bump was on, you'd have lost.
Boom.
Assuming you had a hand anyway. Which clearly you did. You had Honitsu Dragon, so the game would likely have been over.
Gee.
Alright, somebody's being aggressive. Which, considering my string of dealer repeats, I can't blame at this point. I mean, my hand's kind of there, but I think I have to reach for this one. Or just get incidental sumo. Redragon is arguably safer than playing a Manzu tile, although he's playing 9. I'm first in sequence. Even if I hadn't. Yeah, I'm on from Pinfu again, so... The figuring there was, even if he did call it, I could probably afford to take the hit, even free Han at this stage. Especially as he's not the person who's going to be taking the reins after this. Oh, for God's sake. Alright, we'll go with that. This isn't... strictly speaking there yet. In fact, actually, that was wrong. I should have discarded the 3 and that would have got me for that, but they're fine. For some reason, I thought they were completing a triplet. My mistake. Yeah, let's just keep working backwards. Let's keep wheeling here. See what we can do with this. No! You need to lose some points today, Husky. It's in the rules. It's in the contract somewhere. Not happy with that. So I've got a 3-sided for a 10 weight available. Unless I draw a 3-6-9 here to just go into 2-sided weight.
Boom.
Call that for tempo, I suppose, but we'll hold off. Okay.
Kang.
Oh, god darn it.
Riichi.
I do not need to do this for a 10 reach right now. So that's my winner. There is absolutely no reason to do this. If I lose the game from here, it is completely justified. But
Riichi.
okay, here we go. Yeah, this is now a really bad situation now. There's not even that many 3s, 6s, and 9s left to draw. This is kind of testing my jam abilities right now. I was actually hoping to make them fold and just be... I'm testing the jam. I'm on tilt. I'm aware of that. There is no justification for that one. I mean, in fact, you were in luck. For Dragonis, is perfectly justified in making the cards, so... Given the point situation, he's in third. He needs to get a gap on JPC if he can, so why not? That's not too bad. So I've got 4 pairs. No easy Yaku unless I get rid... Actually, if I get rid of a 9, I suppose I'm moving myself towards Tanyo. And I can get rid of the 1s if other things develop. So, yeah, we're looking for Tanyo here.
Home.
No, I meant to Khan, indeed. but the good thing is, though, Kyril, you didn't accidentally Khan your win. Which is definitely a feature of Tenho.
Riichi.
Yeah, you can do the Khan after call, but... Okay, we'll play that and see how this goes. I know 5's safe against a reach, so we might play that. I also know that 2's safe against a reach now, so... And 3 dots, so we're getting things at the moment. Yep, he gave me a safe Dora discard. I should not be pushing here. So he's obviously on a dot tile weight of some kind. Wasn't 6 though. This also doesn't help me, I've just realised, so I should not have even tried that.
Riichi.
Yeah, 4's going.
Long.
Riichi Batsu, and that ends the game. Alright, Debbie, thanks for joining us. Somebody be sure to post the scores, because I really haven't been able to keep track of things. Hey, in the plus 61, I'm actually gained some points this week. Good game. And I think that will be me done for the time being. I still have Debbie's game actually here, so let's go and quickly copy that in so I can go and grab some other points there. Thank you. So you had a good night actually. Had you plus 100 points for tonight, Horsky? Just trying to keep vague track of things. No, I'm not leaving for America next week, but we are having the finals next week. No game started. That's fine. I might watch that one. Please, can somebody knock some points off Viking today? That would be really appreciative. Also, I think this is the first game for this, which I wasn't really paying attention to, but now have the points for. Alright, so what I actually want to find, then, is the game that just started up. Which is, I believe, this one? Oh, no, there it is. It was an interesting game. I'll give you that. That was an interesting one. So yeah, the stream will probably start around 7 PM, and we might actually start it at 8. Actually, so start at 8 o'clock. We have 4 hours. All games conclude at midnight, and then after the points have been tallied, then we will award that trophy to a new owner. The trophy will have a new post-it note of doom. Currently, this has been basically saying for the last year or so that a certain Mr. Viking is the 2006 champion. Says the sticky note of doom. But yeah, this will have a new owner, or possibly the same owner with an even more increased amount of points. But in fairness, I've been top of the table. Viking's been top of the table. Draconis has been top of the table. And the 4th member of our little apocalypse group, Jesper, doesn't get to play enough to be top of the table. Well, I mean, actually, you got 100 points today. You probably are quite close to 3rd. If I hadn't have managed that big game at the end, I think you'd have been in touching distance of challenged me for 2nd. Yeah, aggressive play does work. The only thing, of course, is it's not good to teach new players aggressive playing, usually, because they tend to take that as a model of how the game should be played. Fail to learn defense at all, fail to learn Yaku at all, and then we get situations like Aegon. But honestly, the more you play, the better you get at this sort of thing, and you're experienced enough now with the game to know when you're being aggressive to at least ensure you've got Yakus, you've got points set up, you're still optimizing the hand value as much as you can. There's nothing, generally speaking, wrong with a strategy. Sometimes your reaches are a bit risky, and the risk isn't always worth the reward, from what I've noticed of your playstyle. But it's certainly not a bad playstyle. It's just not mine, which is why we have disagreements all the time. Yeah, aggressive play by Yaku is not aggressive play, indeed. Oh dear. Which is why I keep timing you out whenever you suggest new people always reach. Because that is hard. This is a tutorial, effectively. I know I haven't done any of the tutorial videos, but, you know, I'm trying to teach people how to play the game well, and then they can make their own styles up later. Reach gives you a Yaku, which is important. However, you can't reach and call, and that's the side effect. Yeah, you're experienced enough to know that, though. This is the difference. You are experienced enough to do this. And, yeah. It does work. However, I'm much more... Well, I have to say I'm not usually a defensive player entirely, but I do play defense when I have to. Although in that game I was definitely on tilt. I don't know what was wrong with that entirely, but... There we are. It happens, don't worry. So yeah, I'm not going to play any more tonight, just as an FYI, but I will probably observe this game once it starts up. When? When did I backhand the insult somebody? It makes for flashy games, but it also leads to... I mean, if I was a better player than I am, I would trap you a lot more often with that. But as I have mentioned before, I'm an amateur player. Possibly intermediate if you were going to stretch it to the definition of it, but I am by no means good enough to trap you with that all the time. I certainly try to, but occasionally situations happen. Okay, there we go. I'm actually going to turn the sound off for this. So we're going to follow Vikings play at this stage because, oh dear God, look at that possible Itsu. Yeah, you can say you're a pro on that basis, but you know. I am watching game, but I have to watch it with a 5-minute delay. Also means I'm now going to talk about the game on a 5-minute delay. Yes, it's the thing. This is when you know you're improving as a player, when you deliberately don't deal in and then you go to the draw state and you realise what they were waiting on and you called it correctly. And that's part instinct, part game knowledge, part just how the game has felt based on their discard patterns. At a really extremely high level, you can get a real sense of their hand from enough discards, or general reads on how their play styles are, how they tend to play hands. There's a lot of information out there, and it's how much you take in, how much you use, even little things like slight weights. Who could possibly call that tile? Then you can make guesses of their hand from that. Is that their pair? Is that their run that they could have called with? They got a lot of those tiles. Yeah, that's not improvement. That's just blind ignorance and aggressive play styles, which I do not encourage new players to have. Hence why I have to keep timing you out, sir. Anyway. Back to this game. Honestly, that's more luck than... It's more sort of judgment and luck based, but also you can get a good sense for things. In general, early discards have nothing to do with the hand. So the first 3 tiles usually have nothing to do with the hand. In Vikings' case here, you can see the 2 technically does, but that's a side note at this stage. 2 would have been a good tile for him to have here just to extend his weights a little bit. If we go over to the right, the 8 man doesn't have a lot to do with Vikings' hand at the moment. Scotty has absolutely no dot tiles, which is why he got rid of the 9-2 immediately. The terminal tiles, the ones and 9s, don't really follow for this pattern, but any of the middle tiles do. So that early 4 man means he's unlikely to need any of those. Then as we get later down the pile, he possibly has something near the 7. He might have some high, some low dot tiles. And this is kind of how you get into the reading state of things. That's fair enough, actually. Problem with this is, of course, it's a window that's kind of set, so there you go. And again, player on the left. So he's basically discarded. His first main discards are a 3 and a 4 man, which being that early means he does nothing. At best, he's got a few top high ones, but then he discards a 9 straight afterwards. So this is what I mean by sort of reading hands, and it's when you're able to do this on all players at once, you're getting a sense of things. Of course, like in Vikings' case, this can throw you sometimes. But if Viking were the reacher here, I would say... I know I can see his hand, so the pinch of salt here. That he's likely in some kind of Sozu hand, because there's only 1 available. He might have some low dot tiles based on the 8-5 discard. But I would guess he's on a Manzu weight. I guess he doesn't need the Manzu anyway. This would be wrong in this case because we've got quite a few. But this is kind of what I'm doing on most levels, and that's why I can get towards this kind of 90%. Because most of the time, people know what they're doing when they're discarding, or at least trying to know what they're doing when they're discarding. They're always trying to progress their hand. So they're either discarding because it's got nothing to do with their current hand, or they're discarding to open the hand up. Now, the later discards are usually the ones to open the hand up. For example, getting rid of closed weights, like the 1-3 here, or you know, trying to move to from a 1-3-5 into, say, 3 gets discarded, play the 1. Still. Not discarding that last Dragon Man. No, do never discard the Dragon Man. $3 risky, and we have a 1-player Tenpai, who is Aegon. So, Reach, what was he actually waiting on? I actually didn't catch that in time. Alright. We'll try and pay a bit more attention to this hand, and again, taking what I've kind of learned in what I was kind of explaining here. So, initial discards, any kind of terminal tile is usually the initial discard, just because it's not usually relevant unless they've got a pair of them, or it's Dora, or a bonus. So they'll get rid of the non-bonus tiles left. Usually you'll discard the players to your left first if possible. So Viking would discard west, then south, then east in the normal pattern unless he's got a pair or needs them. Saving his own one and, of course, working his way around. He went the other way around for reasons I'm not sure of. But yeah, Viking is the player bottom. I know he's not actually called Viking anymore, but he was Viking in the first league. That is definitely his account. So that is who he is. And I will continue to refer to him as Viking, even though his account does not say so. Anyway, so from initial discard, same sign of Fury here. So that free discard from Aegon should, in normal circumstances, ignoring his hand completely, the fact that I can see it, means he shouldn't have anything near that tile. It's his first non-terminal discard. So tiles around that should be safe. The problem with this read is Aegon is a new player. And as a new player, that free would have been much more useful if he'd have had it. Especially when he discards with 2 afterwards. Actually, is he even there? Because that is... Even the 2 at that point is not a bad tile for him to keep. Though it would have been for a 10. I mean, well, everybody else has discarded terminals and honors, so you can't really read too much into this at this stage. All you know is that they're trying to build themselves to a hand with 2s and 8s, or 2s, 2 8s, possibly with a bonus triplet. So if somebody was to reach from here, from this kind of board, you would assume that any middle tile is dangerous. As are any bonus tiles. So that 4 discard here, that's his first non-terminal discard, and as you can see, it has nothing to do with his hand. Arguably, he does have high dots, but they're so far away from the 4 that the 4 is practically isolated and not really relevant. And that 7 is discarded for a slightly different reason, though it follows the same sort of pattern here. That 7 is just from the opening up of the 5-7 he had. Drawing the 4 has replaced the closed weight, need a 6 only helping there, to a 6 free helping. However, it does look as if that is his first non-terminal discard, so anything in the high Sozu would probably be safe from that. This is where it can trip you, because if it's one of these sort of hand sorting discards before the get rid of anything not related to the hand discards, this can happen in the wrong order and it can trip the reads. Also, please tell me to shut up or ask me questions if you want. I mean, this is just me trying to help explain how I read the game and how I try to judge things. And pinch of salt, because I can, of course, see what their hands are. So I know instantly whether or not it's actually helpful. So now we're getting to sort of mid-game here. Second row is when most people are getting close to finishing their hands off. And this is where you have to be really careful with anything they've recently discarded. Especially when players have called tiles. For example, Doom here. So from this read, we've got some high dot tiles, but they're connected. So that means getting rid of an 8-9 is a closed weight being gotten rid of. He likely doesn't have anything near it based on the fact it's terminal only, but he could have, say, something like an 8-7 still outstanding that he's improved upon. Probably actually more likely is a pair of 7s or something. I don't know. Obviously he doesn't have that, but I'm just exampling. But getting rid of a closed weight is a normal sign that somebody's getting close to Tenpai, and if that wasn't an indicator, he's called it set. So you've always got to assume he's one step closer to getting a finished hand. Also, as it's a Yaku, he can be waiting on anything. So from this, you always have to be careful of what he's doing. Another indicator of this is when late terminal tiles come out, because these are sort of things that you would get rid of at the end of a game that you've kept because they're dodgy, but now you have no choice. especially as they're his bonus tile. As it happens, he's not actually in Tenpai, but of course, the other players aren't to know that. So let's just have a look at what else we got there. So that's second call. Plays the 5. He's now definitely in Tenpai. Any 2 calls by the dealer this late in the game, they're in Tenpai. You now play safe against them. 3 is not a safe tile against him here. Arguably, his first non-terminal discard, the 4, had nothing to do with his hand. The 2 might have been a hand sorting thing. The second one you have to be aware of, usually. The first is the problem. Second, you have to be aware of. But Mahjong very situational, and of course, other players aren't necessarily reading into the same things and strategies that I am, of course. Anyway, I've paid no attention to Viking's hand this entire game, but actually he's not in a bad way. He's got a Sun Unko, so 3 concealed triplets. And the game goes into a draw state. So, East 2, second repeat.
Gee.
Kind of don't want this game to end in East 2. Oh dear. So starting hand-wise, Scotty has a bit of a mess. Although I guess he's going for a Chanter, an all-outside hand. So he needs a 9, a 1, or an Honor tile in every single one of his sets of 3 and pair. A Viking at the bottom has a general mishmash of things. So we'll get rid of his useless tiles here. So the dragons, the winds. He tries to keep the dragon because it might be a bonus tile for him if he ever draws a pair. But he's still getting rid of his tiles that are unrelated to anything he's working on currently. This game plan might change slightly, but only because of 2 early calls from a player, which is something that you always want to be considering. Once somebody's made 2 calls, they're at worst probably 1 from Tenpai or playing really stupidly. And it's very bad to assume they're playing really stupidly. Here also, Scotty's made an error with that. The error is one that you generally want to try and avoid when you're calling a lot. He doesn't have a pair right now. And you need a pair in Mahjong. Calling with your last remaining pair when you're going this aggressive, even if it's for a bonus triplet, isn't usually a good idea. He can fall from Tanya. Yes, he is actually.
Khan.
That Khan also does not help him at all. It puts a threat on the board, certainly, but that's put more Dora out there, so more bonus tiles that are available. 6 dot is now worth bonus points if it's in a hand, as is the 9. So all that's really done is help Viking out, who now has 2 of the things. Well, Tenho I like more than other engines I've played on. Mahjong Time was where I started playing Mahjong online. The problem with it was, though, that there's such a reduced community in there that it sometimes takes 10, 20, 30 minutes to get a game. I have never had to wait more than a minute to get a game on Tenho. Yes, the interface is annoying, but it is fast, it works. Okay. So, here's now going to talk a bit more about safety. And it's always important... Oh, actually, I get 2 opportunities for this. It's always important to do this when a player has reached, because there are a lot of clues as to this. So, when thinking about the reach, you're working backwards from the reach tile. The reach tile itself likely has something to do with a hand, but it's a bit of a dodgy one to indicate on. The best thing to look at is the tile before that. So, the tile before that is the Tuso in this case. It was his last terminal with regards to things, with the exception of the 7 that's there. So I would assume his hand... Okay. Carrying on, I would have assumed his hand was really related to the 2 or the 2 dot, based on that. Although, as I've said, it's always slightly more dodgy to rely on that, so I might have considered the 2 slightly safer in context if it came to it. Other than consider he's not discarded a 2 dot at any point previously. Doom is on a rampage. Well, let's see how this goes. Agen's on, no points, 6,900. 69,000, rather. No, it was 6,900. Ugh. Sorry, tired. Sorry, tired, wired, and trying to get some explanations out and doing it in roundabout ways. So again, the two-man discard from Aegon. Yeah, Aegon's discard patterns are really strange, actually, watching them back. Because the 9 is really helpful to his hand. It gives him a pair, and you always want to have a pair in your hand if you can do that. For 2, rightly doesn't have any relation to his hand, so that wouldn't be a bad first-turn discard. Yeah, it definitely takes a little bit of getting used to, and it's why I would recommend... I mean, even on a server like this, with people who can help you with things, but... In general, it's simple. The only things you have to be aware of, really, are what is Reach, Pon, Chi, Khan, and Sumo. And the number of times that I have declared a Pon and have not actually won from the discard is quite astronomical. But once you know what the symbols mean to a larger extent, they become automatic, and that's just player getting used to the interface. The interface, as I've said, is extremely good. So Aegon's on a quite good hand here. He could have a Shinitsu at this point. Yeah, you can always just pick the discard from your hand.
Chi.
That 9 doesn't help Aegon unless he can get to the straight, which means he's going to need the 4 and the 2. So he's on a Yakulus reach at that point. Viking is still getting rid of terminals. That 8 is possibly something to be considered from another player's perspective, because it's the first non-terminal discard, so the first non-1/9 on a discard. But in this case, it is because he's got nothing anywhere near it. It's actually useless to his hand. Here we would get our first one, and most likely he'll get rid of both of these if he feels they're safe. Decides the 5 dot. My only thinking on that, because 5 dot is a middle tile, is a risky one. It can be going to more weights than any other, pretty much. Anything between 3 and 7 is a little risky. But if he does complete the closed weight, what does he get from that? Sorry, I was trying to work out what he was getting from that, in all honesty, but I might just be tired of missing things. So here you can see he had the 4/6, drew the useful tile there. The 4 is somewhat related, so tiles around the 4 are dodgy. But that'll only matter when he reaches or when we believe he's in Tempai, which isn't the easiest thing to track. It is a skill, learning when players are in Tempai and just hiding it. That's a good draw. So I assume he's pushing towards a Tanyo here. Also, 1's relatively safe. You can see a couple of 2s. You can see a couple of 4s. There's less tiles out on the board that can actually help, that you can actually use with that. So this improves the value of the hand. He now has no 1s or 9s. Hope it means he can call tiles if he wants to. And try to push to a quick resolution. The game is towards the end, though, so you might even be thinking just safety play and just slow rolling till the end. So he plays with 6. Who's he defending from? He might even be defending from Aegon at this point, who has nothing really. So because you can't win on a tile that you have previously discarded, or if a tile you have previously discarded is currently one of your winning tiles. So that 6 is a definite safe tile for Viking to discard against Aegon. Whether or not that was the intended purpose, I don't know, but that would also explain the 5. This is sort of the end game art of half folding, because you want to have a finished hand if you can, but the one thing you do not want to do is to just give a... Aegon got 2 reach in our game and won one of those. Yeah, I mean, it happens. At the moment, though, he's got very little. So... So yeah, Draconis the only person in Tempai at the end of that. So 2 dragons, they weren't safe tiles. So when you're looking at a new hand, the first thing to note, so with Vikings here, East is a bonus pair. So that's a Yaku if he gets the last one. It's not a guaranteed thing, but it means that he can now focus on bonus triplet and then moving on from the hand from there. If we look at Scotty at the top, we give up and go for Kokushi. Because that is one of the worst opening hands that I've ever seen. If we look at Aegon, again, he's kind of on the bonus. He's got a bonus pair. The important thing is, you don't rely on it until you've got it. Once you've got the bonus pair, like Viking does now, you can start calling everything you've got a legal hand. Until that that pair is complete, though, it's a bit dodgy to start calling tiles that aren't related to it. Okay, I don't think we stop this guy, I don't know. In the case of our player who is running away with this, the easiest Yaku to go for in the vast majority of cases is Tanyo, or all simples as it is known. So you get rid of the honor tiles, you get rid of the 1s and 9s, which is why in a lot of the games you may have noticed people get rid of the honor tiles first, because they're only helpful in pairs and triplets, and of course getting rid of them means your hand is now naturally closer to all simples, which is a legal hand without any effort whatsoever. Also, if you can get the hand complete without calling any tiles, you've obviously got the reach, which Doom now does. So he has reached... He's on an edge weight, which isn't always advisable. He's only got 1 tile currently on the edge there, so he can only win on a 7, but he's on a bit of a roll right now. He's putting pressure on the table. He's on his 4th dealer repeat. This one looks like it's unlikely to come off because I can see 3 of the 7s here, but... It is the dodgy thing when you get that. And then you don't even get a big hand. So Viking has a few interesting decisions to make here. And unfortunately, yeah, he's playing safe. Getting rid of the 3 dot, which is in Doom's discard pile, so nothing related with his hand, and he can't win off it. Aegon is going aggressive, which is a mistake that a lot of beginner players will make against the Reach. They'll try and aggressively push against it in spite of it. If he hadn't have called that, he'd have had 2 safe discards for later in the game. And sometimes late in the game, you need 2 safe discards to get you to the end. Just so you don't deal into a big hand. As it happens, he's got Reach, Dora Dora. And yeah, so Reach and 2 Red Dora. So free Han, about 5,200 points. As dealer, that's scaled up slightly. So probably just under 8,000 points, of course, with the extra 1,200 and the Reach stick. So... Actually, probably closer to 9,000 points. It's a big hand for Draconis, in all honesty. But hey. Yakuman. Nobody's got a stream Yakuman on stream yet. It's been 2 years. It needs to happen at some stage. I should get Debbie's Yakuman screenshot for this one as well, because it was quite awesome. If there's value and there's risk, well, yeah, whatever. I mean, I could coach you, but that feels like cheating from this point because I have a stake in the match. I need Viking to not win, which I'm quite happy of. Draconis is doing a good job here. By the way, Draconis is Doom. Doom is Draconis. So Viking trying to get out of this by calling. He's on a 6-5 weight. Let's have a look. There aren't any 5s in the discard pile. There aren't any 6 either, unless I missed that. Unfortunately, with the way the hands are laid out, he's on 1 of each left.
Go.
And that is the deal in. So Viking loses 1,200 points, and plus an extra 1,200 there. Basically, each dealer repeat adds 300 to the value of all hands. So now the hands are worth 1,500 more. Viking is now in death range, I think, at this point. And Aegon has decided to call the West Wind, which is his bonus wind. It's sometimes not a good idea to call that straight away, especially if your hand is that bad. But at this point, no. At this point, what Aegon should be doing, or what I'd be tempted to do at this stage, is just go for the Yakuman here, because you've got no hope of catching up first if you don't. And just keeping all the honor tiles, hoping for an all honors victory. But yeah, it's a long shot. Any Yakuman is a long shot, but that one in particular is a very long shot. It is, though, one of the few Yakuman you can get by calling. So again, the first non-terminal discard has nothing to do with hand. Also, it's a closed weight. 1-2.
Each.
Oh, for God's sake, that is just... Draconis? Why did you steal my jam? I need that for next week. I mean, in fairness, it's a long shot. It is a long shot, and this is arguably the better way of building the hand, because now he's much more likely to get a hand with all of those discarded. But it's something to consider. It may be a short consideration, because the moment you start losing terminals and honors, you're basically restricting yourself to 7 tiles you can have in your hand. And even if it doesn't pay off, I suppose you can always escape it into a Honitsu here. Oh, that's a lot of effort, though, to teach him for a week, but I think it does need to happen. I will put him in the Mahjong school program when I get there. I don't know how far behind Draconis is, but I know he's not in the top 4 at the moment. I think he's 5th. He's definitely behind Urza and definitely behind Horsky based on today's games. Unless, of course, he wins this by an absolute landslide and gets a plus 70, plus 80 here. I think he'd have to get exact... He needs to get some exact hits off of Scotty here and then just get a 10-ho.
Gee.
Scotty is calling to try and end the game quickly and deals in. Okay, there we go. He gets to get some points off him. So yeah, that 2-heart hand is worth 6,200 points. Yeah, I've got to update 2 weeks worth of things, which I will definitely do before the start of the things. But yeah, he's 677. No Tetsuya allowed. Oh, am I not allowed to? Oh, Sam Byman, not greedy, indeed. So here again, he's got his bonus pair set up, so he'll probably be looking to bonus pair and off here. Viking, I imagine, is just desperately trying to get something at this point. So most likely he'll get rid of the 1-9 and try to go for an all Tanyo hand. The other one that tends to go for a lot is all runs. The only thing to be notable of the all runs hand is it has to be a 2-sided weight at the end. So you can't be waiting on your pair or anything, or waiting on a middle tile of a set of out of a run of 3. But it's quite an easy one to get to and can incorporate a lot of hands. So usually Tanyo and Pin 3 will be the first hands you go for. Well, he's kind of been spreading the love a little bit, which is helping his point score out. It's still on the East 2 when he's on this 6th dealer repeat. Sorry. And he has actually won all of these hands, hasn't he? Maybe we'll find out for sure if the Power Renchan is a thing. I don't think it is. I really don't, but... But there is Rampage going on, and there is this. So the good news is, from Draconis' point of view, is he's got the backup plan of going for all triplets, because he's got quite a lot of these set up, and he's got the bonus pair for dragons if it escapes and he needs to go into a different hand. So I think he's going to be starting to call things again. We'll see if any of them come up. Problem is 7s are awkward because 7s don't tend to get played. They are dodgy tiles. We don't want Viking in second. We want Viking to lose. I need to gain some points on him. I mean, sure, him not winning is a help because it doesn't mean he's not going to push further ahead of me, but hey. We could do him losing a few points. Well, I mean, if he were to get a direct hit Yakuman, he would overtake the lead. $3,200 points both ways. Yeah, it's all good. Oh wait, no, he's in third. Darn it, we're getting spoilers now. So yeah, there we go. That's his hand that's actually there. He's in Pinfu. He's in Tanyo, actually, not Pinfu. There's a Dragon Call. So that's the 1 here. Yeah. So does he try to just lean this towards... Yeah. I was wondering, I mean, I probably should have got rid of the 4 here and try to keep the outside chance of things, but... Well, you're getting your winning in now, that has to be said. Yeah, he doesn't have a pair, that's why he's not going to call that one. Again, securing the pair, because if you go aggressively calling, making sure you keep that last pair available is always advisable. Oh, he's not gonna. He is gonna do that, isn't he? No.
Dong.
Jeez. GMT. Not sure entirely what you're asking here, but it's 11:45 GMT at the moment. Or UTC +0 anyway. Anyway, we finally move on from that East 2 of Doom. Almost literal Doom, it has to be said. Also, I am getting extremely tired, so I may decide to... Well, we'll see how long the game goes on for. Maybe I'll side my side out in the south round. Not sure. So again, read my discard Fury talks. 7 and 8 technically have nothing to do with Aegon's hand. The 8 has nothing to do with Doom's hand, at least in terms of things on that one. And still getting rid of Honor Tiles. That one's a little dodgy in that one. I guess I get why. Actually, no, in that case, that's perfectly justifiable. He's got to get rid of one of his two open sets here, either his 7-8 or his 7-8. So I decided to go for Manzu over Sozu because most of the Manzu have been played so far. GG. Did you knock somebody out? Yeah, you must have knocked somebody out. Oh, well, we've got 5 minutes and then I'm going to call that. Nice score. Well, don't spoil it yet. I am going to watch the end of this. But geez, did you even make it to the south round? I don't think you must. You can't have done if it's done that.
Dong.
Yeah, you got points off of him. 2,000. I mean, he's still got enough. And that probably suggests that it's not going to be enough for this. All right, so looking at Viking's hand here, he's got a pair of Easts, he's got Dora. Westwind is something to be noteful of here, and I note that somebody has a pair of the darn things. So a pair of bonus Dora tiles, which would possibly be the best thing to have a pair of in the starting hand ever. And the rest of his hand is not too bad either. Plenty of connected stuff. No, he didn't. Not from this situation. I mean, it's a good hand, certainly, and there's value there, but it's not up to Yakuman's standard at this point. I'm just keeping an eye on that, because I imagine this is how the game ends. Yes, but Draconis played this sensibly and rid his luck amazingly well. And as mentioned, I need that jam back before the next week. Also, Viking is going for a possible Itsu, and we don't like his possible Itsus because I haven't had one in absolutely forever. I'm not underestimating your jam, sir. I just wish you hadn't stolen mine. So there we go. That is instant Mungan. No, you can't all have jam. It's not the way it works. Only one player can have jam at any given time. Only one player can have the luck. And I have proven many a time that I am made of jam. He's got the Sanshku as well. So this is Mungan Sanshku for a Hanuman. That 6 gets played, which Egan was considering. Yeah, 6. Everyone has it, nobody does. Indeed, if everybody was equally lucky, then we wouldn't have luck sinks like Dylan to thank for every time something went well. There is a balance to luck in the world. This is why if you see somebody who is truly unlucky, you must thank your lucky stars that he exists, because he's making you proportionally more lucky. Incredibles too soon.
Boom.
I'm half surprised that... Oh, wow. Okay, so that's the Carnage. So he's now got 4 Dora showing, plus bonus tile, plus possible Sanchku. That is Hanneman. Definite.
Chi.
And actually, Aiken's in for a good hand here. That's going to be Honitsu. I know he's not going to get it because stuff things, but... So F5 is definitely a safe play against Doom, who really does not want to give up. If he deals into the Hanneman, he actually loses from here, I think. Actually, no, it'd only be 1,200, but 12,000 rather, but he's got to be careful of that, which is why he's currently discarding the 5s. Still playing around his tiles and still trying to get there, but obviously trying to ensure he's not dealing in stupidly. Green Dragon. Yeah, so this is what I mean by Viking being the best player on the table. He is very good at playing around safe tiles and just getting himself into a position where he can win. He's taking advantage of the opportunities he's got, but he's not risking as much as he can here. Now, 2-so might have actually been semi-risky, but early 1-so, he sees another one played over on the left. He's got visibility of a couple. He can see 4, 4, 4.
Each.
4. In fact, that's one he couldn't see, but there we go. Reach and run, and that is a huge amount of points. And that is the game. Plus 92. That is probably the biggest win on the entire leaderboard. But, yeah. Jeez. But still, he had visibility of a lot of the 3s and 2s, so... Yeah, true. Anyway, thanks for joining me, guys. Next week will be the final. There might be other Mahjong streams in the meantime. It's just obviously Vanna is going to be over here, so... Jeez, 92. I mean, that's that. I mean, I've got to really update the league table, and I will promise I'm going to do that tomorrow. But yeah, that's 2 wins basically, easily worth 2 wins. I've certainly had wins where I've only got 40 points. So anyway, thanks for joining me, guys. See you next week, and we will see about any streamage beyond that as and when it happens. So till then.